Yo, what's up guys? It's the Nightwing at Way of Life Esports coming at you guys with another League of Legends video here today. This is going to be the LCS lock-in day 1 thoughts and opinions. I just want to let you guys know these preseason tournaments where you guys see them in the LCK and the LPL, the Demacia Cup and the Kespa Cup, they don't matter in the grand scheme of things. And I know I saw a lot of people, flaming some of the teams today on Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, saying that all of their 2020 offseason moves were basically not good. Guys have to factor in. This is a preseason tournament. It has no implications on the rest of the year. These tournaments are only just to, gauge how strong these teams are right now. Also, you have to factor in CLG has subs, IMT has subs, TL has a jungler sub, FlyQuest has a sub. So there's also other asterisks in this tournament as well. But overall, I am super happy that the LCS is back. I like the preseason tournament overall. There was the whole problem with the YouTube format because it wasn't in full screen. That wasn't really a problem for me because you could literally just watch it on their official website or just obviously go to Twitch and watch it. But when you look at other things that other regions do for their preseason tournaments, I would like to see it more evolved as the years go by. But overall, I enjoyed the gameplay for today, and I am really disappointed in Cloud9, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So I want to tackle the very first game, which was 100 Thieves taking on TSM. 100 Thieves' draft was Renekton, Talia, TF, Kaisa, and Set. Then you also have TSM drafting Gnar, Graves, Orianna, Xayah, and Leona. So looking at this game so far, you could just basically say it was topside diff. Because you also have to factor in Huni played pretty poorly on the Gnar. Spica played really poorly on the Graves. He invaded, I think, around like the 4-minute mark and got caught out. Someday was going to slice and dice over the wall, but he failed it, but it didn't matter anyway because they collapsed toward the top side around the Rift Herald. Power of Evil also came in on the TP. He also ended up dying, and then it all just went bad from there. Also, forgot to mention to you guys, today here I'm joined by T-Root. What's up, man? How you doing? Ready to flame TSM?
Oh, always. As a dedicated EU fan, though, I'm kind of sad we don't have a preseason tournament. Let's fix that next year, Riot.
Dude, I really wish the LEC would have a preseason tournament. It would be cool to see, like, Fnatic taking on G2, in a preseason tournament, But looking at 100 Thieves' draft, I really like their draft because it allows Closer to make early game aggressive plays. He was really active on the Talia. You also had FBI and Huhi, who played outstanding in this game. Lost in Sword Art had the issues that I already predicted that they would have because they're a new bot lane. And a lot of people were just completely forgetting that 100 Thieves' roster, minus Someday, already has inbuilt synergy, whereas the TSM roster has to kind of, synergize over time. They have to gel, and you can clearly see from what we had talked about in other videos with just me and you. Remember how we were talking about how any team with Power of Evil becomes a Power of Evil team? They literally look like a Power of Evil team. This looked like nothing different, dude.
I mean, it's team solo mid for a reason. I think PoE tried to hard carry, and it just Huni was dragging him down.
They did have a composition that did attack the top side. I want to make sure I make that clear, but it's like, hey, if you know you're getting attacked this much, you could either ask your team, hey, can the bot side come top? Can I rotate to the bottom? Things like that. You have to get out of your bad situation is what I could have seen he could have did, but overall, 100 Thieves looked as good as most people predicted. They predicted 100 Thieves to be, a top 3 team. They look like a top 3 team, so that's a good thing for 100 Thieves fans out there. I know they haven't really ever had a good roster, and I think this is a roster that can finally give the fans hope. What did you want to say?
Yeah. No, well, I was just going to say, like, beyond the composition, just kind of the way Huni was piloting the Gnar, there was a point, I think, about 16 or 17 minutes in, 100 Thieves was trying to take in the first mid turret, and instead of TPing on the turret, Huni TPs onto a minion next to the turret in mini Gnar form, and then gets blown up a second after the turret falls. So you just kind of like TP'd in the middle of 100T.
I remember that. I was like, wait a minute, why are you wasting your TP? The tower is literally going to go down in 2 Graves autos. Or not Graves autos, Talia auto attacks. And why do you make the TP? Like, it's not a team calling for that. He just actually just made a mistake. I was like, all right, dude, come on. Like, he didn't make a good case for himself. Like, as people, like, the biggest question mark on on TSM's newest 2021 season roster was Huni. People were like, well, the roster doesn't look that bad, but it's like Huni is kind of a coin flip. And I told people, I know this is a day one reaction. I'm not overreacting. I'm just saying he just doesn't look that good. You know what I mean? Like, he might be an average player as the year goes by. I just don't really see it right now because I really only see them being a power of evil team, which is what most teams at Power of Evil generally become. But 100 Thieves win their very first game of the LCS 2021 lock-in, and TSM lose their first game of the LCS 2021 lock-in. The next game was actually just a pure stomp. You know, Wiggly can change his name to Griffin, and Grig can change his name to Armau, but it doesn't matter. But to be fair, I will give Wiggly some praise later on during the video. TL drafted Camille, Nidalee, Syndra, one of Jensen's best champions, the Samira, Leona. CLG drafts Malphite, Graves, TF, Kaisa, and Set. Overall, the name of this game was just, I don't know, get the fuck beaten down. They got stomped every single lane, dude. Oh my god, Alfari beat the shit out of him. That wasn't even close to fair. Like,
I mean, I was excited to see the Malphite pick, but then, like, I kind of had to turn it off after 3 minutes when Wild Turtle and Smoothie just got 2v2, just like double killed by Samira. Just like it was bad. It was bad.
Like everyone already knew going into the LCS 2021 season, Alfari was gonna be one of the best top laners in the LCS, and this game clearly showed he's gonna be one of the best. Like him and Someday. And later on, we'll talk about Licorice, but these two, from what I'm seeing right now, Someday and Alfari are going to be the best top laners in the LCS. And guys, there's not much to say about this game. You could watch it, and you're gonna be like, "Why don't you guys provide any analysis?" We don't need to watch the game, and there's nothing to provide. They actually just got destroyed. They actually just look like crap.
I think it almost broke a record for like one of the fastest games in NA, just because of how much of a stomp it was. I mean, it was how long was it? 24 minutes. Okay, not like super fast, but
they should have CLG should have surrendered in like 5 minutes. Dude, that's the game where you're like, all right, guys, we're not scaling past this. Let's just end this, or let's just GG go next. Because like Pole Vaulter was getting mid gapped, Solo got top gapped, bot lane got bot gapped, and well, you have Wiggly on your team, so you're already ready at a gap. You know, well, guys, his name is Griffin now, not Wiggly, but you know, Grig overall, Grig played solid. Nothing special. He played solid overall. I mean, that's good enough. He has star players in all their positions, so he doesn't have to be the star himself, which I think really allowed him to play a lot more better. Tactical and Core JJ played really well. I wanted to give, like, in my own personal opinion, if I chose an MVP for this game, I would choose either Tactical or Jensen. I think they played absolutely great. Alfari put up a lot of pressure on the top side. But yeah, TL win their first game of the LCS 2021 lock-in, and CLG lose their first game of the 2020 lock-in. Now we're going to go to the game where everyone wanted to talk about. So, oof, this game, Cloud9 versus Evil Geniuses. Now, I just want to say, I did bat for Evil Geniuses really, really hard, you know, during our LCS 2021 power rankings, because I really think Evil Geniuses actually have a good roster. I don't know what some of my friends were talking about, saying Impact can't carry. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna negate that out of my brain about what you just actually said. Impact can't carry. I mean, he probably can't carry as well as someone like Alfari or someone like Wonder or Bwipo, but he can still carry a game if you give him resources, you know? So, looking at EG composition, they had Renekton, Graves, Syndra, Kaisa, Galio, C9 drafted, Orin, Lillian, Yon, Lucian, and Leona. So, there's actually a decent lot to discuss with this game. Where do you want to start?
I mean, I kind of want to start in the draft because it's important to, at least I think, to explain the draft order. So you have, oh shoot, where'd it go? Okay. You have EG, they ban Nidalee, Akali, and Olaf first.
Okay.
Which, pretty smart. And then you have C9, they ban Shen, Pantheon, and Talia. Again, I think those are fair picks. EG first picks Graves, and then C.
Yeah? Oh, you cut out there. What did you say?
With no. I was going to say, no AD carry bans, and their first pick is Lucian.
I was gonna be like, wait, is Cloud9 trolling? Because what I saw in their drafting phase, which already made me think they were gonna lose the game, you give over 3 power picks to EG. You give over Graves, you give over Kaisa, and you give over Renekton. Like they got
Syndra. They get Syndra first.
ooh, and it's like if you're giving EG this many power picks and you only get like Lucian, I mean, like even just drafting phase are at a
Yeah.
disadvantage. Like that's just a bad
Well,
draft.
and even then, so after EG drafts Syndra, Kaisa, C9 picks Yone.
Perks really thinks
So that
Yon is
kinda-
good. That's kind of the reason why Perks has always been talking about Yon in the offseason. He thinks Yon is like a super OP
Because
champion.
in the next ban phase, because they realized that they're trying to. I think EG realized C9 was trying to flex the Lucian.
Mhm.
EG just bans Samira and Aphelios.
Oh my god. this drafting phase.
And then
man.
C9 responds by banning Alistair and Set, which is what puts Ignore on Galio.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, they picked Yone into Syndra, and then they picked Ornn into Renekton.
And you know,
Like
Ignar's
they
gonna
were
wanna play,
counterpicking.
you know, Ignar's gonna want to play things like Galio. He had a really good performance on Galio. He landed so many taunts. His ultimates were on point. He didn't waste it at inopportune time. He was able to save a lot of the carries when the fights would go bad. But I want to say this about Cloud9. They did not look that bad in the game, despite all the bad picks. Like, during the game, you could clearly see they were actually playing good. It's just that EG's composition was way better, and they got too far ahead early on. So, like, a few plays I want to highlight. So, there was this dragon fight where C9 completely actually outplayed them. Perks went too far, and he got killed by, Ignar. Then there was a play topside where Perks took out Jizuke 1v1, and then they actually got a team fight very well. Like, during the game, they actually did play better than most people expected. Well, not to like the standard mode most people expected, but at least not garbage. It's like the draft did not really represent the amount of good things they did in the game. Like, also during the dragon fight where Vulcan flashes over the dragon pit and he stuns Finscaren and then kill him and then they take dragon. Like, things like that show they're not bad, right? But it's also, you know, a lot of their decision-making wasn't on point. Vulcan and Perks' synergy wasn't really there. Blabber didn't necessarily play... I don't think none of them individually necessarily played horrible. It's like too much... Oh, Perks kind of played bad. I'll be honest here. Played pretty bad.
Perks got caught out a lot.
Played
and
way too over-aggressive.
The game losing team fight was when he snapped back, because with Yone you can like leave your body but you have to snap back to it.
It's kind of like
when he
Zoe
snapped
thing, right?
back,
Yeah.
he was right in front of Syndra and Kaisa.
Oh god. Yeah, I remember that.
So like, and that was all the while some days just 1v3ing because nobody thought to buy Grievous wounds.
Yeah, Blabber got Grievous wounds toward like the very end of the game. Impact actually played really well. I wanted to give MVP of this game to Impact because I know a lot of people were doubting this EG roster. I really think this EG roster was super good. Like, the more I thought about it, and it's not just overreacting because I had said these things before in our power rankings, it was that I actually think this roster has a lot of potential and they actually have a lot of good players on the team. It's just like the play styles of these players just have to all come together. If they're going to have a team where they all just run in and beat, you know, the other team down, all it takes is to have every player on that exact mindset, because if one player doesn't want to go in, then it all just goes wrong. But you clearly saw they're on the same page. They know exactly what they want to do when they're drafting. They want to make sure they give Impact a decently okay top laner that can carry, but also can provide a lot of crowd control and a lot of zoning potential later on during the game, even if he gets behind. Also, since Garen and Jizuke played really well, mostly all players on EG played well. Cloud9's problems were, like, Perks was too over-aggressive. Oh, what happened? I think I have to... Let me do one thing right here. Oh, so... Yeah, overall for, Cloud9, personally, I actually think that, Perks went too far in, and then there were moments where he clearly wasn't going to actually be able to turn the tide of the game. So yeah, I know there was a lot of people talking about Cloud9 obviously playing poorly. I mean, that's par for the course, but I think they did okay in the game at certain moments. It just wasn't really going to do anything because Ichi's composition got too far ahead, and Ignar was having a really amazing game. So yeah, if you're an Ichi fan, you definitely looked good in this game. Now it's time to move on to the other game. Which sorry, anything else you want to say for the
Oh,
non-game?
I kind of on the same line where I think EG just performed really well. I think definitely to an extent overperformed. To the point where, like, Sneaky and Double Lift were tweeting about how good he was this game. I don't know if that's going to be an indication of where he is this year, but I think definitely is not as weak as some people are making him out to be.
That's true. Yeah, I think most of the EG roster coming in were just really criminally underrated. Like, I never really got why Impact was getting flame. It's like, he's a solid player. Like, he's definitely not bad. He was gonna be better than Fudge, just straight up outright. Right when they start, you know. Oh, Fudge. We should probably talk about him. Okay, so it's not that it's hard to say because like you are on tank duty, but I think he was zoning okay. I think he knew what he wanted to do. Personally, you know, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean he had his. If it means anything, he died the least on his team.
Yeah, I think he had nice ultimates. They just couldn't really follow up because they were always behind, or they're always playing on the back foot too.
Yeah,
that's what.
And it's really hard to play. Yeah, it's really hard to play straight tanks like Ornn into fed bruisers like a Darius, or in this case, a Gore Drinker Renekton.
Like, a lot of their fights they were winning, as I'm looking at right now, they were winning some of these fights. It wasn't like they were just outright losing. They just made aggressive plays. Vulcan was missing like solar flares. I think Sven played the best out of the team. He was actually trying so hard to win this game, but didn't matter, you know, because EG's composition is like, well, fuck you to all your CC and your Yon. But overall, next game we have FlyQuest was
the best game. The best game.
Hey, this game better than watching the Cloud9 game to a certain extent. You had Dignitas taking on FlyQuest. Dignitas drafted Renekton, Talia, Yon, Samira, and Leona. FlyQuest drafted Ornn, Graves, Orianna, Kaisa, and the horse lady, the second horse lady, not Sejuani. The other board lady. Rel. I actually like Rel. I don't think she's a bad champion at all. Diamond was always flashing.
It's an interesting like champion that definitely lends itself to like either pro play or like being in a voice chat, because you basically just have Knight's Vow on permanently, which is really interesting.
So what did you think about this game? I think this game could be a weird, how would you say it? A weird way of maybe oh my god, I'm trying to say this without trying to be mean. This game, it might not be the best indicator of Dignitas' team's actual strength. I think it was along the lines of FlyQuest heavily underperforming, but I do think Dardoch and Afmaru played pretty well, the veterans of the team. And Saligo played better on his Yon than Perks did, I'll say that, but it's hard to be like, you know, was this Dignitas actually being good, or is this a case of Fly just completely actually just running it down and being like crap? Because they didn't really do anything in the game. They kind of just stood there and did nothing.
I do like to think it was more Dignitas being better than expectations versus FlyQuest being below expectations. I mean, granted, you can give Fly the fact that they're playing with NXI and not Jose Diodo, but Licorice did not have a good game. Like, he just did not play well. And I think that when he's supposed to be the leader, the veteran presence, and he's floundering, I think it is just going to be a weakness going forward that if Licorice can't perform, FlyQuest is not going to perform.
Because a lot of what C9 used to do with Licorice is play around him, make sure his weak spots are covered, make sure that if he's drafted against in the drafting phase, they would also play around him. You didn't get that during this game. They kind of just left him up there to do nothing, which, I mean, I think he's the best player on the team, personally, and I think that you should be playing towards him. I don't really think you should be playing towards Johnson and Diamond. Johnson and Diamond looked fine in their individual 2v2. They should have been focusing more towards topside, in my own personal opinion. And that's why they also lost, because they neglected topside so much. The gap between Fate God and Licorice, I never thought I'd ever say that, but was actually just really, is too big. The game was just over.
Yeah, and it came down to the fact that Fate God got a really good lead on a good teleport. It was a bot lane like tower dive where Dignitas came away like 4 for 2. Fake God gets an easy double kill, and then after the fight's over, Licorice TP's in at a quarter health, and then just kind of run literally. I don't think I've ever seen Licorice play this confused.
Yeah, Dardoch also had a really good game on his Talia too. His Talia ultimates were great, zoning off FlyQuest, making sure they can't get into their team when they're trying to siege towers. And yeah, Dignitas win and FlyQuest lose.
Was this the game where the Talia ults across midwave to stop the enemy team from charging tower, but Shelly can teleport through the wall? Or was that the TSM game?
Was that the TSM game? It might have been this game. A lot of weird things were happening.
I just remember there was this really cool this really cool interaction where Talia ults just across mid lane to stop a turret siege, but the enemy jungler drops Rift Herald, and Rift Herald charges through and blinks past her wall and ends up at the turret.
That's crazy. That's weird, actually.
It was the most confusing thing I've ever seen.
Dude, there was a part in this Dignitas FlyQuest game where Licorice is going for he knocked up Saligo, and the team just looked at him like he just didn't know. They were like, all right, good job, dude. Get out there. Good luck out there, bro. God, that's why I told people, I'm all for having new teams in the LCS and new rosters, but people gotta factor in. You can't just say, oh, well, they have new players, so that means they're automatically gonna be good, you know? Oh.
Yeah, no.
What happened?
Fan. I have a lot of hope now.
Yeah, I also, I just don't like people, generally overreacting, and it's like when we had our, show on Monday that I took down because I didn't really feel like the quality of that podcast was really good, so I deleted it. It just kind of felt like we were only certain people in the show were only putting certain teams above because they had rookie talents. That doesn't automatically mean you're better. It really doesn't. You have to actually prove you're better first, but neither here nor there. The next game, what was the last game? The last game was CLG versus Golden Guardians. In this game they didn't look that bad.
I mean, everybody but Smoothie did not look bad.
Pretty much, yeah. Even Griffin, he actually had some pretty decent Stitchwani Suns. Overall for this game for CLG, I think that this game is winnable if they actually keep up the pressure they got, because around the map they actually got some kills, but they just didn't do anything with it. They just kind of just stayed stagnant. They had this weird dragon control where GG just punished them, and then after they kept punishing them consistently with a lot of more picks and team fights, Solo would TP in, die, and then you would have dives on the other side of the map, and I think bot side, where they would get kills, but it's they were never exactly pushing the pace of the game. It was always feeling like they were just on the back foot, even though they got decently ahead early on. Looking at the 15-minute mark, Golden Guardians are only up 2,000 gold. It's not a big discrepancy, but it just felt I don't know, maybe they felt like they should have won that first game against Team Liquid. It's probably not true, but I don't know what happened this game. But I'm glad that the Golden Guardians players actually played pretty well. I don't want to overrate them right now, but 6A, he played better than expectations, I would say.
I mean, it's really easy to look really good on Kaisa. I mean, I think the one standout was Niles on Gangplank. I think he played...
I agree.
Plank.
Yeah, he played pretty well. I just, what is up with Smoothie and playing poorly? I don't, and Griffin over here whiffing the fucking Sejuani ultimates in mid-team fight. Yeah, it's definitely not gonna, where Pobelter, he was on a colleague, doing nothing.
CLG junglers and whiffing Sedge ults, name a better combo.
Golden Guardians, hey, the roster looks pretty solid so far. It's just day one. That's pretty much it. Anything else you wanted to talk about for the LCS 2021 lock-in day one?
Not really. I mean, I do kind of feel bad for CLG because they're the only team that had to play twice in one day today. And unfortunately, we didn't see anything of Immortals, so I'm interested to see what they're going to look like tomorrow.
Yeah.
But overall, I think that... I feel like today is going to be a day of, if you go on, Reddit or something, it's going to be extremes. A lot of people are just going to be like, C9 lost the offseason because they lost one game. And then you're going to be like... side, which is like rookies are the future, down with teams like CLG because they're getting just they're getting waxed by new guys.
The old guard is gone. C9, TSM, and C9 and TSM are out. It's like, dudes, like I was trying to tell people, hey, these tournaments don't matter. I really could care less who wins, honestly. I mean, if C9 wins, I guess it's a bonus, but it's like this tournament, it's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things. This also has people have to. It's weird. People have to kind of factor in. A lot of these teams also have subs. Immortals has subs. CLG has subs. I mean, they have Solo and Griffin.
Yep. Do we know if Immortals is it confirmed that Immortals is using subs?
Yeah, they're using.
I haven't heard that.
They're using Keith, Joey, Insanity, and a few other players. I'm pretty sure they'll have Revenge, and they'll have a different jungler. So they're gonna have pretty much like 3/5 of their team not there. So it's like, how can you really judge a tournament without all the players there? But yeah, Smoothie, what are you doing?
Yeah,
in this game?
And I mean,
even. Oh. I didn't even want to list the draft. I didn't want to list the draft for these guys because it was so awful from them at a certain point. CLG drafted a loss. There you go. They drafted themselves into a loss. That's all I mean.
Yeah, I will say that's another game where I was confused by the draft. Belter is not an assassin player, so why are you first picking him Akali?
You gotta give him an
straight up
pick, I guess. Ugh.
You know what's? Wait, hold on. Is this true? Yeah. Interesting point about the CLG Golden Guardians game. That was the only game all day where blue side lost.
Is that true? Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, red side won all day, didn't it?
Red side lost all day,
yeah,
other than the Golden Guardians game.
That was great, dude. Blue side is so strong in most metas. Like, it's most of the time blue side is the strongest. Most of the time, give or take, But yeah,
unless it's 2015 Worlds, then red side is just OP.
God, just straight up God. That's pretty much it. Guys, like I said before, like, don't go out flaming all of the teams that lost. It's okay. It's one loss. It's not gonna matter. Let the players trash talk. Stop being little fucking sissies. Stop being little snowflakes. People can trash talk it. It's a thing that happens. Like it's generally a thing in life. Outside of League of Legends, people actually consistently trash talk every single day. I don't know if you guys go outside and actually experience the sunlight, but it happens. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I want to say thank you to Hebrew for being here. Anything else you want to say, man?
And you kind of just on that one point, like, you got to realize that with the lock-in format, the top 4 teams from each group move to the playoffs. Like, literally, one loss is not that big a deal. You could go 1-4 and probably still make it out of this group.
That's so bad. People are like, oh my god, Cloud9 lost the outs. Like, shut the hell up. Oh my god, Sneaky would have did so much better. Sneaky would have actually played as well as Ven did on that Lucian game. You can go fuck yourself. I don't believe that. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Sven actually played really well.
But other than that, I'm good.
Yeah, people like, oh my god, Sneaky would have made the team so much better. Oh my god. Like, whoa, like, get off Sneaky's nuts, please. He would not have made the team better. Oh my lord. But yeah.
He is never going to come out of retirement at this point. Just enjoy him being a streamer and just let him kick back.
See you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe, most of all enjoy. I'm the Nightwing, Way of Life Esports. Signing out, guys. Peace. Have a good day. Let's hope day 2 will actually not make me blow my brains out. Gosh.